What's going on, guys? So, we are back today with this edition of Off the Record. I want to get into something cool that happened over the weekend. So, let's talk about the coolest cross genre rock moment that we've seen in a while. Post Malone stepping into the full rock fan mode and leading a tribute performance of War Pigs alongside Slash, Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. If you didn't hear this performance, it was killer. So yeah, you heard that right. Post Malone slash Chad Smith playing Black Sabbath, and honestly, it makes more sense than people think actually. So let's set the scene. So this picture, it's a tribute to one of the greatest rock band legacies of all time. A room packed with fans who know every riff, every lyric, every drum fill. The kind of crowd that doesn't hand out respect easily. You have to earn it. And then walks out Post Malone. Now, if you only know Post from hip hop, the hip hop charts and the pop radio charts, you might be surprised at this performance. But real music fans know that this guy grew up on rock and metal, actually. I believe he was in like a metal emo core band before he started going into pop. Um, so uh, he covers Ozzy at the Grammys. He also played some Nirvana tributes. We'll talk about that later on. He's a dude that will jump from rap hooks straight into guitar solos without blinking. So when he takes the mic for War Pigs, it's not cosplay. It's fandom. It's respect. Um, Comment below if you actually watched the Grammys live. I want to know what your thoughts were on watching it live, and what you thought when Post Malone took the stage during this performance. See, we got one viewer right now. So let's go with the band behind him, and then you look up and look who's backing him for the song. You've got Slash, literally guitar royalty, with his top hat, the Les Paul, the tone that can melt your face off, and then Slash plays the riff, a riff like War Pigs, and it just doesn't feel like a cover. It feels like history continuing. And then on drums, we've got not Will Ferrell, Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers, one of the tightest, hard-hitting rock drummers alive. The groove that brings a massive sound, but very controlled. Exactly what Sabbath song would need, because War Pigs isn't just loud; it swings and it breathes. It wasn't a random jam; it was a super group moment that we got to see at the Grammys. So I mean, that's kind of why I'm touching on this. It was a really cool moment in rock history. So why War Pigs? Why that song? Let's talk about the song for a second. So War Pigs isn't just a classic. It's one of the most important protest songs in rock history. It was released in 1970. It was Black Sabbath calling out war, greed, power, corruption for the decades that have been going on. And that was mainstream and heavy music. Those lyrics still hit really heavy today. The generals gather in their masses. You hear that line, and immediately you know what song they're covering. It's heavy, but with a message, not just heavy with distortion. So when modern artists choose this track for a tribute, they're not just playing the hits; they're honoring the statement of that song. Uh, I for one love Slash's tone that he gets, and his style of playing is just it's a killer rock guitarist feel. So let's talk about Post Malone's rock cred. Um, so this guy, he did during the pandemic, he did a Nirvana live cover set with Travis from Blink 182 on drums. it was one of those moments during the pandemic that was a, hey, thank you, Post Malone, for giving us something beautiful that we didn't expect at all during this crazy time of just being shut in our homes. Um, he also worked with Ozzy Osbourne directly. Um, he's shown through different projects that he can not only sing rock, uh, he's not just vibing through the song, he can actually sing rock. He has a really good voice, really, really huge range of musical styles coming from him for sure. He's also talked openly about loving metal and classic rock that he grew up listening to. He's not just jumping out to these genres for clout. Rock has always been in Post Malone's DNA. Um, Honestly, what really got me into Post Malone was his acoustic version of "Fall Apart." I heard him play that, and I was like, "This guy's gonna start covering every style of music." I want to say that was probably 7 years ago. I knew right then and there that this guy had the talent to do whatever style of music he wanted, and it really seems like this is what he's doing with these performances that we're getting. So let's switch the picture. Here's a little picture of Post Malone up on the stage um, during the performance. But so let's talk about the bigger picture. So what I love doesn't just live in one era. It doesn't belong to one generation. It definitely belongs to one type of artist for sure. Seeing a modern rock star, superstar like Post Malone share the stage with legends like Slash, Chad Smith, shows that the rock culture is still alive and it's just evolving now. Even though Ozzy has passed, his legacy is still living on. The younger fans watching might go, wait, what's this song? They may discover Black Sabbath for the first time. They may go down that rabbit hole. And this is how his legacy continues. He also did a segment of a couple months ago on Youngblood and how he kind of passed the torch to Youngblood. Him and Youngblood were very close towards the end. You can watch that segment. That's a really cool story. So let's talk about the final take on this. At the end of the day, this tribute just felt super genuine. It wasn't forced. It wasn't corporate. Just musicians who love a legacy song and they played it together. And the music world sometimes feels algorithm driven and trend chasing. Moments like this, a live performance like this, it's just refreshing. It gives you hope that we're not just regurgitating, you know, AI music. We're talking about some rock legends coming together and just making a song hit that you've known for decades. So if you haven't seen the performance yet, go watch it live, and make sure you crank the volume on that because Warpigs with Slash on guitar and Chad Smith on drums behind Post Malone, it's a kind of crossover that I feel like we've all been waiting for. We all needed. So comment below on what you thought about Post Malone's service to the song. Did he do the song justice? And what other classics would you like to see Post Malone tackle in the future? And let me know down below. So stick around for more music talk. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks for listening in today, guys. Let me know if you watch.